Welcome and hello. Welcome back to the River District podcast. My name is Viveca Gravel. I'm the Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound and for the River District. And today I'm lucky enough to be here with Lesley Bankes of Curvey Line's Art School and Print Shop. Hi, Lesley. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you so
much. I'm very
much.
excited to be here.
No, it's I'm so glad to have you here representing part of our art community, and you're fairly new to the River District.
Very new, since December.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just here to share some information, get to know one another a little bit, get to know all of our viewers and listeners and all that kind of stuff, and just let them know what you have to offer. So, Lesley, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction into your business?
Okay, so I bought the instant print in December, and I'm just tickled pink that I've got it. And I've been a self-employed art teacher since about 2000. I started in BC, came to Ontario Owen Sound in about 2004, and I've been teaching everybody for many years. And before my shop, my main clientele were developmentally delayed individuals with community living and with reach. But I do teach everybody, adults, children, everybody, and almost anything art-wise.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to learn painting, drawing, cartooning, movie making, painting t-shirts, abstract, landscape, realism. I think I said realism. Yeah.
Okay,
I teach it all.
That's awesome. That's so nice to hear. And as you said, you are located in the former Instant Print, which is just down the road from our friends at Just a Cup, and then the Owen Sound Dance Academy across the road from Dairy Queen.
That's right. Yep.
Not hard to find you. We all know where that is.
Yep.
So it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
I heard that just recently you added an addition to your front window that people can check out at any time.
Easy to find me. I've got a turtle in my window.
I will, just for those of you listening and watching, it is a live turtle.
Yep.
And I'm very interested in this animal.
And his name is Rafi, after Raphael,
obviously.
The ninja turtle.
Of course. What a fitting name.
Yeah. And he really likes the children who are waiting for dance class. He always, performs and splashes when they go and look at him. And he loves attention. So
he's charming then.
He's a very charming turtle.
Excellent, excellent. So if the front window hasn't given you any sort of, idea that you should go in, what else can we find inside the shop and art school?
I also have Yorkshire Terrier little dogs. And so I have quite a few people who come in just for a little bit of Yorkie love. And if you come into my shop, the dogs can't get at you. But if you say you like dogs, you're welcome to come and pet them and play with them.
That's incredible. And I think
I have lots of people who do that.
To be honest, I might just spend the rest of my entire career sitting in there playing with some puppies.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. So you said you have a whole bunch of different offerings in terms of art. How do you offer those classes?
Okay, so my print shop hours are from 9 to 3. And so people can come in and get photocopies, 1 copy or 200 copies. I do business cards. I do layouts, kind of like the regular boring stuff that kind of pays the bills.
Sure.
And then after 3, you can book an art class. And so it's very easy to book an art class. You just say to me, I want to book an art class, and we book. And so my art school hours are from 3 on weekdays and anytime on the weekends.
Okay, so is it more of a one-on-one situation?
It costs $40, and you can bring there can be 4 people for that $40. So it gets very reasonably priced. It's
for an hour?
Yeah, for an hour.
That's incredibly reasonable.
And it's like $10 per person if there's 4 people.
Yeah.
And it's really good for families because the whole family can come in. And let's say a family came in and they all had t-shirts and they all want to paint a t-shirt. Then we paint a t-shirt. That might take 2 hours. So maybe leave 2 hours for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, should people be approaching you early to do these kinds of things? They shouldn't just wander off the street with a t-shirt and...
No, they have to book. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then I need to prepare, especially for t-shirts, because you have to put you have to have boards in between the t-shirts and
sure.
And And I also, another thing that I do that people really like is I do virtual classes. I have a few of my students are not super healthy, and they cannot come into my shop because they worried about COVID. And so every week I teach them over Zoom or FaceTime.
Oh, that's really cool. And what kind of things are you teaching virtually?
Oh, well, let's see. I've got a class of 3 kids, and last time we painted Minecraft, I think it's called. Yes. Growing grass. So it was funny because I didn't even want to do that lesson, and I ended up doing it, and it ended up being a great lesson because it's pixels, and so the kids had to draw lots of straight lines.
That's excellent.
And nobody had a ruler, so they all had to learn to draw straight lines without a ruler.
Is there a technique for that?
Oh, definitely.
Interesting. You'll have to teach me.
Biggest technique is you don't have to draw in order. You can start at one place and then lift your pencil and go to the end line and join them up in the middle.
Okay, well,
biggest tip there is.
So you're really open to trying different genres in terms of, the fantasy or
anything. Yeah, dragons. My other little boy that does a virtual class. His last class was he wanted to draw sea monsters.
Cool.
And so we did a 2-headed sea monster, and he has been coming to my classes for a while, so he knows all about front view, side view, and 3/4 view.
Okay.
And so you guys might not know that, but I teach that a lot. That's one of the first things I teach when I teach cartooning. And we drew a sea monster, and then I also taught him about color, because we colored it in. And it's just amazing how the simple supplies suffice. We use crayons, pencil crayons, markers, just those very easy breezy art supplies. You don't have to buy a big, huge paint set. In fact, I really discourage that, because when I do sell some art supplies, and when I sell paint, I only sell red, yellow, blue, black, white. That's it.
Okay.
You do not need any other color, because you can make all of the other colors. And once you learn how to do it, it is so easy to make any color in the world.
Well, that's it. And I mean, I myself, and I'm sure many of the viewers and the listeners, have taken a rudimentary art class in school. We had to. We didn't have a choice. And that was, one of the fundamentals that we learned was how to mix colors, the primary, the secondary, you know.
Yep. I use a little bit of a simpler language. I went to art school, and I found the language was a bit overwhelming. So instead of saying complementary colors, I say opposites to people.
Okay.
And to me, that they just find it easier. My whole goal when I'm teaching is to help them understand.
Okay.
I try to use the simplest language possible so that anybody can do it. In fact, when I teach kids how to do color, I'll teach them for about 15 minutes, and then I'll give them a paint swatch and say, okay, make that color. And they do it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, kids are smarter than all of us anyways.
That's a good point.
They're more creative. They're more adventurous.
Yeah.
And frankly, we just need more children. But, we don't. But anyways. So that's incredible. But you say you teach adults as well.
Yes, I do. Adults, I definitely go at a different pace. I go much slower pace.
That makes sense.
And it's funny because kids like to learn cartooning, and adults generally like to learn how to do realism. So with realism, I teach the main things, how to get the outside line right. And there's tricks to that. Drawing is learnt.
Okay.
It is not, you're not born with it. You are learnt, just like reading and writing.
Interesting.
So anybody can learn to draw. So I teach people how to do it. And so I start with how to draw the outside line. Then I teach them how to shade, which is all very logical. Then I teach them texture, how to make different marks with your pencil. And then I teach them perspective.
Okay.
How to make it look 3D. And then composition, the placement on the page.
Well, geez, I wish you were my art teacher growing up.
It's amazing because I get people that have come to me 10 years after they've taken my class and they say one nice thing is I know how to draw.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible. I mean, and to be fair to all of my former art teachers, I wasn't listening. But and they probably did try to teach me various things, but I did not do well in art class.
I would love to teach you.
I'll have to come by.
We're going to have a challenge.
We might have to. We might have to. I can draw very few specific items and one type of flower, one style of animation.
Yeah.
Just those kinds of things, but very basic.
So drawing is really interesting because like you're speaking, you can draw these certain things. So you're talking about drawing out of your head. And so I actually call that cartooning, even though you're trying to do it realistically. Drawing out of your head is a completely different skill set than looking at a picture and drawing it.
Interesting.
And so I teach them in separate lessons.
Interesting.
Yeah, because learning to draw when you're looking at something is basically learning how to see. Most people, when they draw what they think they see instead of what they really do see.
Okay.
So I teach you how to see. And just a few little tips and tricks just is amazing.
Well, that's it. I'm taking a class.
Perfect.
Because I think that that's a skill that I need to be able to do, even if it's just to improve my doodling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So tell me, do you have any classes currently booked that you're looking for groups to sign up for? Or
I have tried group classes and I have never been very successful with them. So I just people can schedule a class. It can be one person, two people, or four people.
Okay.
And and it's easy to book. I've I just got Participation Lodge, who lives out in the middle of out in the middle of nowhere, and they're coming, and there'll be wheelchair people in wheelchairs. So I'm going to have a ramp ready for them when they come, and so I'll have 4 people in wheelchairs. And with that group, I know them quite well. I've been teaching them for years and years. And so this will be the first time I see them since the pandemic. So I'm quite excited about it. So I know them so well. And so some of them are very low functioning, and they do drawings that are not recognizable, but they're fantastic.
Sure.
Their work is amazingly good.
Of course, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right?
So what I'd really like is I'd like to get more children, more families, more adults coming to my class and learning how to draw. Oh. And you can book one class or you can book a series of classes. And frequently what happens is people book weekly classes. And so then I see them once a week.
Sure. And I mean, I can't even praise you enough for your incredible timing on this. You were nervous to come in here, but somehow you've managed to segue exactly into where we need to be at this exact time. That's for amazing. You to provide us with how do we get a hold of you?
Well, you can get a hold of me by phoning me, 519-375-7678.
Okay.
You can email me at curveylines@gmail.com. Curvey is spelled EY.
Okay.
Or you can go to my website, and my website is curveylines.ca. CURVEYLINES.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I'm not good at spelling, so don't get me to teach you how to spell.
We can't all be good at everything, but luckily you're good enough at art that you can teach the rest of us how to survive at it. So thank you so much for coming in today. This was a lot of fun, and the time goes quickly.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you get a chance, go in, visit the Yorkies, visit the turtle, visit the artist and the teacher. Lesley Bankes from Curvey Lines Art School and Print Shop. I'm your host, Viveca Gravel, Community Development Coordinator for the City of Owen Sound and the River District, and you're listening to the River District Podcast. Thanks so much for coming out, and we'll see you next time.